Experience points, an essential part of Minecraft used for many important things, including repairing tools with mending, enchants, and flexing that you can AFK for long periods of time after you build an OP farm for it, which is what we're doing today in this first episode of Create Survival Minecraft. I am Bedrock Burger. Welcome to Create. Of course, you have been bamboozled, fooled, quite tricked, for we actually have to get to the point where the EXP factory is even being built. So, we start from the beginning. I gathered a few of my friends who were interested in a server with a bunch of mods, including stuff like Ad Astra, Valkyrian Skies, Rechiseled, and a bunch of Create add-ons. A lot of Create add-ons, in fact. We all started out as any Minecraft server does, dying a few times on the first night, and eventually calling a nearby cave our home. Do we ever leave the cave? Absolutely not. We are cavemen after all. Ooga booga. As the server went on, we all went mining, finding diamonds, dying to wardens, and learning the basics of Create mod. We managed to get full iron armor for a few of us, set up animal pens that would be redone later, locating a nearby village where I eventually kidnapped villagers from, and even getting so far as finding obsidian and entering the nether, with the absolute worst spawn imaginable. Maybe save for, being suspended over lava. While all this was happening with us progressing the game, my buddy Konjeka was becoming the laboratory maniac of the server, already setting up a bunch of Create stuff like presses and mixers and mechanical crafters. We found another fortress not too long after entering the nether and capturing a blaze to immediately hand off to Konjeka. Then I died at a bastion because I'm so smart. Good thing this isn't hardcore. To speedrun the game, I found a warp forest and used a speedrunner strat, letting Enderman sit in boats while I slapped the pearls off of him. When I returned from the nether, Konjeka had made a fancy drill that would mine some bedrock and an ore processor that would double ores that we put into a chest. It used chutes and a pair of crushing wheels to crush the raw ore, giving it a chance to double and also a chance to make experience nuggets. Extremely helpful throughout the server, as I would not have to go mining as much. While I was off exploring and looking for diamonds the boring way, a tunnel bore had been constructed which used drills mounted on a minecart contraption to dig at an area and place rails to keep it moving automatically. So we all took it for a spin, finding a lot of goodies to throw in the ore processor. With a new batch of diamonds, it was time to just beat the game. Ike, Kingu, and I loaded into our airships from the Immersive Aircrafts mod and went to beat the game while Konjeka stayed in his little lab doing heinous things to the local environment. The stronghold was, of course, in the middle of the ocean, which is just our luck. We entered, located the portal and some armor trims, and went in, defeating the dragon because we are just that good. Using the airships, we located several end cities and made quick work ensuring to take everything that wasn't nailed down. With Elytra in hand and enough Elytras for the entire server, we beat the game. It's so hard. Wow, we really. Do you mind? So now it was time for pain. Villagers, yay. I kidnapped a pair from the nearby village and stuck them in a hole. I had then been off the server for a few days as I was transferring the server from my laptop to another friend's laptop because my internet is hot doo-doo, as well as recording a huge Dawncraft video, and while I was gone, Ike had been hard at work locking down really good trades and breeding many villagers in the little hole I had. There was also a new iron nugget farm, a tree farm, and a tunnel that we called home had been expanded to make room for a storage room, which is getting overhauled next episode, don't worry. Since we now had a lot of villagers with good trades, it was time to move them. I started work on a surface trading hall, then changed ideas halfway through and wanted the hall to be underneath the building I was constructing. For the surface, I decided to use cherry wood as I really liked the aesthetics of it, and it was still pretty new to me, as I was mostly playing in 1.18 Minecraft because mods. At the time, I was really bad at roofs, so ignore the awful roof I made. With the surface hall completed, it was time to goof off, of course. Why not? Konjeka had made an andesite alloy factory which used gravel, flint, and a bit of lava to make andesite, then mixed it with iron nuggets to make the alloy. It would absolutely come in handy when the EXP farm was getting built. Afterwards, we all went to the nether to use the tunnel borer to try to get netherite. I used the tunnel borer for a bit in the overworld for more resources, then resumed work on the underground for the trading hall, completely swapping aesthetics from the surface of the hall and going with rechiseled cobblestone, mixed with mangrove wood and shroom lights. I am a sucker for shroom lights, they're pretty great. Then it was time to move the villagers into a new home. Their new home. Yeah. I traded a bunch of sticks to the Fletchers. I moved there to get a lot of emeralds for the server, then souped up my diamond armor with all the good enchants, then souped up my tools. The villager moving took quite a lot of time, and I am very sad that I'll have to do this again when I resume my Better Minecraft Let's Play later this month. When the villagers were all moved, it was time for new projects. With elytras in hand, gunpowder was gonna be a hot commodity in the server. I decided that instead of spending days and days making a gunpowder farm with Create, like I should've, I went the vanilla route, making a creeper farm. I built it in the middle of the ocean to maximize spawns. And I made it wrong initially because I'm stupid, but rebuilt the whole thing from the ground or water up. A simple farm, I used trapdoors to make sure that only creepers spawn in the small rooms, then used cats to scare the creepers into falling into a pit to be cooked by campfires, where a hopper collects the gunpowder and slaps it into a chest. To make it work best though, I used scaffolding to go to 120 blocks above the farm to maximize spawns with AFKing. And after AFKing for a few hours, there definitely was enough gunpowder to last for a while. Right? I hope so. Afterwards, it was time for the big project, the reason why you clicked on this video, the Experience Factory. I will first disclose that this server is the first time I've really played a lot with the Create mod. I absolutely know that my setup could be much more efficient and quicker. However, this is what I created with my current expertise of the mod. I'll get better over time. Don't worry. For this factory, it involved quite a few things. Number 1, a good location. I didn't want to put it too close to our main hub in case of lag, so I chose an island about 1,000 blocks away that I'll build a railroad to next episode. Number B was to create enchantment industry mod, which allows experience to be made into a liquid form. Number C was a factory for a lot of things. Drills that mine cobblestone infinitely, which would be smelted into stone. The stone would then be haunted with soulfire to make infested stone. But why infested stone? It's pretty simple, really. It makes silverfish. Silverfish are cool, they subscribe to this channel. Hey, you should too, shameless plug. Through enchantment industry, those silverfish can be punched with a deployer to collect the EXP nuggets, then drain said EXP nuggets into a large tank. So I got to planning in a creative world, fiddling with it for longer than I like to admit. After a while, it worked and it was time to make a factory to surround the mechanics. I decided to use dripstone for the building blocks, as Create adds a lot more dripstone variants, and it's renewable through farms that I would totally build eventually. I mean, never. I still haven't built them yet. I also decided to mix it with red glass panes and shroom lights, as I thought it looked good with dripstone. Roast me in the comments, please. Definitely roast me about my design aesthetic. I will cry. The schematic for the build was a bit bugged, as it wanted me to collect 425 andesite casings, despite me using not anywhere near that. Also, 99 large water wheels. No idea why. Schematics are a bit weird. I spent the next few in-game days and real-life days getting as many materials as I could, loading up shulker box after shulker box of materials, mining thousands of dripstone blocks, and using the heck out of the andesite alloy factory that Conjego had constructed. It was very weird though, as sometimes it just jammed, but I'll fix it later. But it got me enough andesite alloy to get all 425 casings the schematic said I needed. Now, did I use all the andesite casings? No. With all the materials gathered in one spot, it was time to build, and by build, I mean have a schematic cannon build it for me. I'm pretty lazy, okay? I placed the outline of the schematic where I wanted, which was pretty laggy, not gonna lie, then fired up the schematic cannon. It was a hair buggy at first, only pulling from chests and a plus pattern around it, but after fixing that, it did its thing. And let's get into a build montage, with music by my buddy Snowman, whose channel is in the description below. Hey yo! With the EXP factory all complete and working, it's time to AFK it and get as many levels as I feel like. Then the factory worked perfectly, doing exactly what it was made to do, mining cobblestone, dropping it onto a belt to be smelted into stone, which then got belted in front of Soulfire, getting haunted into infested stone. The haunted stone got split up evenly by a mechanical arm and shooted up higher, where another mechanical arm split it again. Deployers placed the infested stone in front of a drill, which broke the stone, making a silverfish, which was then pushed by a belt. Fell enough blocks to where it was left with 1 health, only to be punched by a deployer. The EXP was collected by the deployers, shooted onto a belt, and drained into liquid EXP, which was piped into a huge tank. I made a switch to activate a pump that would rain the EXP on anyone standing underneath the open pipe. After AFKing for roughly 10 hours while I was at work, I can say that it definitely worked out well. With the EXP factory completed, it was time to move on to the next project. You know, this factory is pretty lonely out here in the middle of the ocean, yeah? Stay tuned for next episode to find out what I add there. To be honest, I haven't figured that out yet. But thank you all for watching. Bedrock Burger out.